What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Belinda Carlisle. We're continuing with the 1989 album Runaway Horses. Thank you again to Phil, as well as to Jeebus, who has been consistently commenting on the Belinda journey. And the next tune is formally called The Same Thing, but it begins with a parenthetical subtitle, We Want. So, we want the same thing. It's an interesting phrase because it suggests a harmony or a convergence of purpose and desired outcome, but to articulate the sentiment perhaps suggests, or at least implies, that there's some discord or apparent cross purposes, which leads one to say, wait, we want the same thing, so we might be coming at it differently, or we might have disagreements about how to get there, but let's acknowledge that we share the same goal. So I do wonder if this is within the context of a romantic or interpersonal relationship, and in that regard, I wonder if there is a disagreement on what the rhythms or the characteristics of the relationship should be. Nevertheless, I will try to follow what I can and pick up as many lyrical themes as possible on this first listen. This is Belinda Carlisle. The song is parenthetically We Want, and then formally The Same Thing from Runaway Horses 1989. lot to say. Hopefully I can remember it all. First of all, sonically, it's an interesting one for two reasons. One, the verses have more of a like early Pat Benatar rock type of sound than I've heard from most of the Belinda stuff up until this point. The chorus had a bit more of a like synth rock, at least, if not like pop type of sound. But definitely her vocals in the verses had this lower, higher intensity, like tonally, like the pitch was lower, but it was like, tough Belinda is what it sounded like in the choruses, which again, that mixed with the guitar is why I think it sounded like, again, the first couple albums from Pat Benatar, which I've been going through, and which I think Jeebus commented on. Oh no, my apology, I think it was Flemish Giant. Yeah, he was basically saying he prefers, and I'm quoting here, synth pop Pat of the mid 80s rather than rock bitch Pat from the late 70s and early 80s. But again, I think that was Flemish Giant, so I apologize for the misattribution. In any case, the point is the verses were a bit surprising in that regard. The chorus sounds a bit more like what I've come to know from Belinda's solo music. But I have to say, again, that vocal delivery in the verses was really interesting because it was outside of what I've heard. And even there, I think it was in the choruses, she did this vibrato type of sound at the end of some of the lines, and even that had a bit of a distinct and intriguing sound to it. So vocally, a dynamic performance, and one a bit outside what I've become accustomed to in a good way. And then lyrically, I feel like this is what I was thinking in advance, talking about, like, we're at war, we don't even know why, we want the same thing, and, the battle lines are drawn, but it does feel like she's trying to bridge that gap and say, hold on, if we want the same thing, why are we battling with each other? Why are we at odds with each other? Why are we at cross purposes? So, yeah, the intense vocals of the verses, seem to suggest that she's in alert mode, she's in battle mode, and she's ready to attack and defend if necessary, but the vocals of the chorus gave a sense of, hey, it shouldn't be like this, we should be more harmonious, we should be more united in seeking what we desire, because it is, in fact, the same thing. So I feel like the vocals and just the overall sonics kind of hit both sides of what was suggested by the title, explicitly and implicitly. So yeah, I enjoyed the guitar, especially it had an edgier sound, although, fair to say, the Go-Go's had a sound that was like on a greater rock end of the spectrum, rather than pop. So I suppose in her larger musical career, it's not something I should have been surprised by. Nevertheless, I also enjoyed, there was like this chime or like bell type of melody at the top of the track. I was like trying to gesture to indicate that, but that was a nice touch because that gave it a bit more of, a bit more beauty melodically mixed with the harder sound like in the lower part of the track. So I enjoyed the balance of the tune sonically, like vertically, if that makes sense. So yeah, a cool one and a bit of a surprise, or at least something a bit outside what I've come to expect from her music. So really cool in that regard. When we come back to this album next time, the following tune is Deep Deep Ocean. So we'll see if that is a literal ocean or probably a conceptual or metaphorical ocean. So we'll check that out. Once again, big thank you to Phil. Let me know what you think. I will see you then. Peace.